Welcome to your magical moon message. This is the peace dealer. The moon is in super magical ass Sagittarius, aka Bagatarius, aka Swagatarius, aka Sagittarius. The only zodiac sign that can have too much fun and burn everything down and still have fun doing it. Shout out to you, Sagittarius, you wild MFers. Well, it is 5 houses away from this Leo sun of creativity and full-on expression. So this is going to be the most fun transit of Leo season. Moon and Aqua might rival it. Moon and Aries might even too. But when you think about fun, let's actually talk about the science of fun. When I learned this, I was mind blown. So I learned that love is Leo, right? I realized love is actually an expression of, what's the word? A quadratic expression, evidence through the fixed signs. You have 4 octaves of love that's centralized through Leo, in my opinion. You have the first octave Taurus, which is more pleasure and appreciation, and so base physically. You know, some people can mistake pleasure for love. Then you have, of course, but the first lesson of Taurus is you can't really love something you don't appreciate. Then the second octave of love is courage, Leo, passion. This is really the centralized expression as we know it. You know what I'm saying? The courage to actually manifest Cancer, your emotions, and really say with your chest and project with charisma and swag your attraction towards someone. Then you have the third octave of love, which is depth of intimacy, wisdom. This is where sex comes through. Leo is an expression of sex, which is more like an afternoon delight, daytime sex. Scorpio is a much more raunchy, dirty, freaky, nighttime sex. Not that they're limited by the time, but this is where we start to get deep. How deep is your love? Would you die for somebody? This is where Scorpio starts to intensify the depth of the notion of love that is expressed at its highest level through Aquarius. We're not here yet as a collective. The highest octave of love is friendship, where we're breaking into the basic level. But given that Scorpio squares Aquarius, this is why people say, I can't have sex with friends. I can't have sex with friends. It's not that you can't have sex with friends. It's that relative to where humanity is at consciously, we have not matured to that Aquarian age and ideal yet, where you're so detached and you feel this unconditional love with everybody that you can have sex with a friend. That can be the definition of your intimate connection, and still have sex with a partner and differentiate between the two. We're not there yet because of how intensely and extremely people attach to these feelings. So is it bad? No, this is just really more philosophical. There's a lot of rhetoric around it where certain people tell you, oh, it's sacred. Oh, I want to be free. But it's not that either of them are right or wrong. These are just octaves of love. And so when we talk about Leo, I like to see this more as currency and energy. But when we talk about Leo, right, the 5th house expressing the friends of the heart. If 11th house are associates and friends from career, the friends of the heart is your 5th house. This is why it's a house of romance. When you love something and you express something so creatively, you can share that fun and excitement with other people, friends of the heart who connect. Friends of the heart are usually romantic partners because you and a partner can, you know, enjoy on what you both like together. It can also connect to the 11th. But the reason why this is key here is when you get into that nature of the 5th house, the 5th house opens your heart in order to share vulnerable aspects of your inner child. Square the 8th house with people who you can trust. And the 8th house is opposite the 2nd house. So, of course, you know, the more confident you are, this is some sexy ladies out here. The more confident you are, the more courageous you'll be. The stronger your 2nd house, the more courageous through the 5th you will be, intimately connecting with people in the 8th house. What's with this fire sign energy, y'all? Every time we got fire energy, y'all be looking hot damn. I hate to be the lecherous perv right now, but other than that, yeah, concerning this Leo principle, when we now take the fifth house of Leo, that's Sagittarius, because out of love, right, you have the spark of fire, which is Aries, and that's what creates love. Aries creates Leo, but out of love is joy. Okay, from Leo comes Sagittarius, the full expression of the courage of love. And I don't like to see Leo as just love, because it's not really a romantic love. It can be, but it's more so like the love that shines on everybody. It doesn't have to be just agape. There's a romantic sense to Leo, but it's really more so the passion that fuels love. And so the full expression of that is joy. And so you are understanding the ascension of your own joy that fully expresses the courage in your heart. This is now relative to this talent show we are activating, taking harnessed energy through the first quarter square in Scorpio that was intensified. And now that you've created a deeper base with which you feel more comfortable or out your comfort zone expressing this intensity, you can fully express it. Okay. I remember when the sun was in Gemini and the moon was in Libra, I made a rap. I made that Foolish Babble 3 rap. Yeah, so this is another such day where you could fully express your creativity. It's a great day to be in your heart. It's a great day to be guided by passion, because the mutable moon, Sagittarius, is now ascending your perspective. And this ascended perspective of the energy we're harnessing will coming into moon in Capricorn integrate physically, and the Sagittarius perspective will give you the direction to head into with the moon in Capricorn, which will not only make practical everything you're integrating, but you will see through Sag and feel more physical evidence of how to actually integrate and utilize this energy. That will lead to the full moon where we harvest it. Okay, what are you harvesting? If we harvested the understanding of using power, full moon in Cap, well, you're harvesting full moon in Aquarius, the knowledge of what energy you're harnessing, how strong it is, and how further to transform and integrate it before we move into Virgo season, where it's going to be raining receipts. Okay, a lot of people are going to be acting brand new with the Mercury retrograde. A lot of people are going to be acting like they didn't say the dumbest shit 2 weeks ago, that they didn't lie completely 2 weeks ago, that they weren't championing ideas that are later found to be lies weeks ago. And you're just going to have to, deal with that, or, just pull receipts. Be like, sir, this is what you said 2 weeks ago, though. But we're not there. We're still expressing fully this fire and passion through Leo season. This, once again, with this ascended perspective and understanding after the first quarter square, is going to shift the dynamic of how much more you understand what you're seeing and how much more fully to express this joy. Some of you have yet to fully really find your joy, and this is going to, with the square to Neptune, unlock a much more metaphysical understanding of how to align unseen phenomena with what you're seeing. Now that Mercury is in Virgo, okay? The square that Mercury in Virgo is making with the moon in Sag is tying you in to very supernatural connections and phenomena, but the clash is what you see in the physical may not exactly match what you're intuiting or dreaming. This is where you have to allow the subjective nature of your perspective to align with the objective nature of reality, and be willing to, balance out what isn't real, so that you can, of course, also integrate what is real. And what this is going to look like is some of you may be confused because you're connecting with potential, whether romantically or attached to your purpose, that resonates with certain signs you're seeing. It's like you might see you have a connection with someone, and now you're manifesting a connection with someone else who is exactly like that other person. That's a sign that you're headed in the right direction. But there could be confusion where it's like, wait, Did I get it wrong? Some of you are unlayering more of this mystery to where once you get something right, there's more to learn. So you just want to continue allowing this mystery to unfold and not feel like you have to have all the answers. The multi-dimensionality and the different timelines that exist now that we ascend in the Sag is helping you see the higher meaning of all of this, and how in this 3D reality it all looks separate, but it's all connected. All right, it's the illusion of separation that you're going to be breaking through. I want to once again highlight the moon in Sag that starts this transit squaring Mercury and Virgo. Mercury and Virgo is the analytical nature of your brain's ability to process what's real. Okay, it's opposite Pisces of imagination. What you imagine isn't necessarily real, but what your brain can analyze will, relative to if you believe this is a simulation or not, is still the input output processing of your brain through your subconscious to, through your chorea, help you see and process what's real. Now, moon in Sagittarius is going to uplift physical, realistic, practical means of analyzing what details are real right now, while also helping you understand the higher metaphysical nature of the possibilities that integrate into what's real and what's actively changing. And so that square could cause a clash, because what you are seeing and sensing may not align exactly with what's really happening. And this insight will gain more clarity as you surrender the need to make sense of the details and allow this to just unfold throughout the next couple of weeks. In that, there are going to be major realizations following this trine to Neptune that will guide you forward quite accordingly, but it will feel like many of you have to move forward off of faith of evidence of things unseen, where you're seeing some evidence but it's not fully there yet. That's the moon in Sagittarius pushing you to move in that direction before all the evidence manifests. And for context, the moon in Pisces and Gemini will bring more clarity with these mutable transits. What you really want to be more focused on is, given the extent of how your heart is charging this creativity, how fully can you express everything you're talented at expressing? This will now break you through into more of this talent, and how much more talented you are at expressing this creative facets of yourself. For some of you, you might break through into new talent, okay? So, go where this shows you. With fire energy, you want to really just be uninhibited with passion and just kind of move forward that way. As the moon squares Neptune, this is going to now fundamentally induce a little sense of psychosis. Like, you should feel weird or crazy as hell, because this is fundamentally helping you lose your mind so that you can gain another way to think. And that's going to be inducing metaphysical experiences that opposite Mercury and Virgo will show you how what you're experiencing is outside of the bounds of what's real, how to integrate all that together and blend those to create real magic, mind over matter. And because of the moon square to Mercury, you'll also be able to understand ascended philosophy, ascended pertaining to philosophy that's beyond what you see, okay, so that you can make more sense of these supernatural experiences. This is going to give you real detailed insight into how to understand this, so that this can now focus more how you creatively express these gifts and abilities that you are activating more than ever. Because of the fire nature of this, you'll also be able to see visually the nature of this too before we integrate it into Capricorn, just like you start to see with this first quarter square the seeds you plant break through the ground, and now you know how to manage these crops before we harvest them. Make it count, ladies and gentlemen. I think this is going to be a very fun transit for you. What are you excited for? What are you grateful for? What are you getting ready to fully express? This is the joy that is fully expressed from the courage of your heart. And with this fire, many of you will tap into this transcendence, quincunx with the moon to Uranus, to actually transform how realistically you sense these metaphysical phenomena as a part of your divine experience. Godspeed, you all. You're going to see many things that will change the way you take charge in harnessing your energy and express your greatest abilities and gifts. So I hope you enjoy what you see, because it's going to be pretty lit. Godspeed.